What's going on, you sexy beasts? Since we're into the new year of 2013, I decided to give a shot with the shotgun. No pun intended. This go round, I decided to grab the Mauler S6 for the new conglomerate, which is a complete carbon copy of the Terran Republic's FA1 Barrage, or the Vanu Sovereignty's Thanatos, which I will just be referring to as the Mauler S6 from here on out. All these shotguns carry preference of a tighter spread from the shotgun shells and a pretty quick reload speed. With only 3 shotgun variants in the game, all the factions shotguns operate in the same way, just with a new coat of awesomeness. I will eventually do reviews of all 3 variants, being the fully automatic shotgun and the 8-round magazine shotguns, but for now, let's sit down and discuss this beauty of a death dealer, the Mauler S6. Generally speaking, I was pretty disappointed with how shotguns are kinda handled in Planetside 2. They just feel so lackluster since most of the combat in Araxis is at a distance further than 20 meters, and shotguns just lose all combat effectiveness past 15 meters with stock ammunition. Aiming down the sights is just about worthless too, as buckshot spread is still not close or centralized while doing so. Luckily, if you do use iron sights, there's a pretty awesome V-notch with a 4-post, so you got that. They may be a tad obtrusive, but it's quite easy to track targets with them. If you're using this weapon exclusively in close quarters combat scenarios, such as within a biolab or a tech plant, then you're more than likely going to be hip firing quite frequently anyway, so iron sights aren't quite useful. But since I prefer my weapons to have a very wide combat field adaptability, I loaded up some slug ammunition, and the Mauler S6 began to shine like a true sexy beast. This allowed me to engage enemies at longer ranges and pretty much turn the shotgun into a very menacing battle rifle. By giving this weapon the ability to engage targets much further, I throw in a 3.4 times scope. With this, you can see the crazy vertical recoil this gun sports, which otherwise would go unnoticed without a scope. With a vertical pull of 1.75 degrees, this gun will make you stare into the sun with just a few shots while aiming down the sights. Since we're not going fully automatic, then horizontal recoil isn't going to affect us as much, if at all. This shotgun is very adaptive for whatever combat role you want it to fill, so certify accordingly. I'll touch more into this later, but first, some statistics. All default shotguns in Planetside 2 fire 6 projectiles per shot, and each projectile deals 143 damage, giving shotguns a total stopping power of 858. This is not enough damage to drop a single target in one blow, but if any one pellet hits the target's head, then this will be a guaranteed one-shot kill. The Mauler S6 fires at a rate of 250 rounds per minute, which is pretty nice for a semi-automatic shotgun. Given this fire rate and the crazy potential for damage in a single shell, this shotgun has a time to kill of 0.48 seconds, assuming at least 7 of the 12 pellets fired from 2 shells lands on the target. The slug ammunition for shotguns deals 450 damage, which turns out to be a 3-shot kill, and giving the same rate of fire, gives slugs a time to kill of 0.72 seconds, which is kind of more in line with other carbines or rifles. Reload speed for the Mauler S6 is 1.925 seconds with the shell still in the chamber, or 3.5 seconds with a completely empty magazine. Due to the nature of shotguns, having a 3.5 second reload speed in close quarters will more than likely spell your doom. Keep a shell in the chamber if at all possible. Magazine size of the Mauler is 6, which can be increased to a total of 10 shells with extended magazines. Total ammunition reserve is 30, or 26 with extended magazines. This will make sure your total amount of shells carried will always be 36, unless you've grabbed the ammunition belt certification. The muzzle velocity of projectiles fired from the Mauler S6 is 300 meters per second, which is slightly slow in comparison to other guns, but makes sense with shotguns. With the damage statistics in mind, do you want a 2-shot kill in close quarters combat with the effective range stopping at about 15 to 20 meters, or do you want a 3-shot kill at any range? Personally, I opted for the 3-shot kill. Loaded up with some slug rounds and a 3.4 times scope with extended magazines, of course, this shotgun really began to shine as a true force on the battlefield. You'll have to be a bit more precise with your shots in order to land kills with it loaded this way, but I love not having to switch to my pistol when a target isn't within grabbing distance. As I've stated before, though, shotguns can fill 2 different roles, a medium-range battle rifle of sorts or a close-quarters hacksaw. If you're going for the close-quarters version of the Mauler S6, go ahead and stick with the default buckshot ammunition and iron sights, since aiming down the sights doesn't matter in terms of accuracy. For the rail attachment, get extended magazines. It's the best attachment for the rail slot, hands down, since flashlights are pretty much worthless, laser sights don't affect pellet spread, and a foregrip isn't going to make sense with a shotgun at all. So, do you want to make this shotgun an awesome battle rifle? Load it up with some slug rounds, extended magazines, and slap on your optical sight of choice. I originally went with a 2x reflex sight, since that's usually what I do with every gun, and I quickly found out that it was not worth the trouble. Once you're in close quarters combat, hipfire will suffice to drop targets as long as you're keeping the crosshairs center mass. For longer ranges though, I felt like I needed the additional zooming capabilities of higher magnification sights, so I went ahead and grabbed a 3.4x zoom red dot sight. This is the piece that tied it all together. It allowed engaging of targets at medium range and was pretty awesome with the slug rounds. Taking out targets at 30 to 50 meters with a shotgun is just invigorating and surely will leave your opponent wondering what the hell just hit them. The price tag of all the shotguns are just insane. Despite which one you choose, you'll either be paying 1,000 certification points or 700 station cash. With that aside, if you're going for the close quarters killing machine, then the only other purchase you'll need to make will be the extended magazines, which will top off the total price with 1,100 certification points or 700 station cash and 100 certification points for the attachment. Want to roll with medium range shotguns and be a general badass baller like the rest of us? Grabbing the sights will cost you 30 certification points, your slug ammunition for 100, and finally the extended mags for another 100 certs. You'll be looking at a grand total of 1,230 certification points or 700 station cash for the weapon and 230 certs for the attachments. Due to the nature of shotgun attachments and their base cost, I don't foresee any of the future shotgun reviews to deviate from these numbers much unless Sony decides to drop the ridiculous prices of at least one of the shotguns, if not two. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the new conglomerates Mauler S6, the Terran Republic's FA1 Barrage, and the Vanu Sovereignty's Thanatos. This shotgun is pretty beast in close quarters or medium range, depending on how you certify it up, but could be slightly outshined by some other shotguns. I hope you guys enjoyed this weapon review, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. The next weapon I'll cover will be the GD22S, the new conglomerate's assault rifle-esque LMG. Got an idea for the next weapon? Drop a comment below, or you could just say that Pop Rocks and soda are indeed a man's drink. Would you guys like to see more videos like this? Go ahead and subscribe. It's free.